I mean, we're all martial artists. We're all learning. We have to be in that growth mindset where we're learning. So when we learn a better way to do a class, I'm not talking about teach what you teach. I'm talking about present it to the class in a different way in which will help them be able to learn it, will captivate the audience, so to speak, so that you can get across your material better to them so they can do a better job on their testing and all of the things they have to do for your ranks and your belts. So teaching how to teach better classes. Here's a big one. This is the one that everybody has to be able to do. And from talking to y'all and listening to all of these wins, everybody's got a handle on it. I don't know how big the handle is, but it's a handle. You're doing it whether you think you're good at it or not, and that's sales. You have to be able to take that person that walks in your door, and you have to be able to show them the value of your program. So we're going to talk about one of John Maxwell's books that he has is the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And so we're going to talk about the very first law of growth, which is the law of intentionality. And intentionality is just what it sounds like. You have intentions. You want to get things done. You want to be able to make things happen. But there's always something stopping you, slowing you down, diverting you, moving you in a different direction. So we're going to talk about that. So the first question I have is, this is just stuff for you to think about. When was the last time you invested in you? Well, all of you who were here at the 7FD event, whether it was live or whether it was remote, you invested in yourself in that because it costs money to come. It costs money to be online. It costs money to do this stuff. And one of the big things that you already know, and it'll ring true forever and ever, if it's free, it's usually worth nothing. You got to pay for things to make things work, because the free stuff is the stuff that's usually, not always, but usually not thought through very good. And while it may seem like it's free and it will take you to a point, then you have no other point to reference after that. So you got to make sure on the free stuff that it is really good for you. So you made a big investment in 7FD. You've been learning how to do all kind of things in your dojo. And we haven't covered a lot of those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out a little list of things that you either have already been through, if you've been with us a while, or some of the things that you are going, and this is just a small list of the things that you're going to be introduced to here. And then you will tie all this together with intentionality. First, how to plan out the coming year. Very important thing to be able to do, be able to plan out a year in advance with big things that happen in your school. And we can talk about that a little later. How to plan out simple things like a parent's night out, how to work with your schedule, being able to adjust or plan your schedule for certain seasons. Like we change our schedule and we change it based on the times of year. Like right now we're in our summer schedule and we didn't have to do very much of a change to it. We start classes around 4:15. So we took, and those were small kids and the elementary school kids. So we took those classes, which we had a little dragons class was first on one side of the mat, and a beginner kids class was first on the other side of the mat. And we ran two of those back to back because we had so many people on them. Well, for the summer, we just combined them. And we just did not have that first class starting. Now, when school starts back, all we have to do is start that first class over again, and it'll fill up. So that's just one way of thinking about of doing planning a schedule and trying to make your schedule work for you. There are all kinds of things that you can do to make that happen. Another thing we haven't probably talked about is hiring people, how to hire team members, when to hire them, what's the process that you go through. Next one would be, and this is a big one, you have online and offline. Online, of course, you know what online is. We're doing online stuff right now. It's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's all the social media kind of stuff. It's things that you can put in front of us, TV commercials or whatever. The offline is the things that you do when you get involved in your community. When you put your feet to the street and you go to your community and you get known by your community. That way, once you're known, besides, oh yeah, that's that karate school. I always see their ads on Facebook, or I see this in here and there. Once you get known, and you as the owner do not necessarily have to go out and make that happen. I don't do that. Miss Jennifer is an owner of SKC. Of course, she's my daughter, so of course she's an owner. She doesn't do that because we do other things, but we have people that we've put in position and put in place that can make that happen for us, so that we have a big presence in the community, so that we can get things done, make things work for us to our advantage. And one of the things we always do is around Halloween, we do a food drive. We have a thing, it's called Spooky to be Hungry. And we work with one of the food banks, and we create a lot of collaboration between us and the food banks and the community. And then we have what's called a trunk or treat. And we'll go into all that stuff later because it's not that time of year yet. But that's one of the things. We also partner up with people who get Christmas gifts for kids who would not have Christmas, would not have gifts underneath the tree because their families couldn't afford to put the gifts on it. They just couldn't afford it. So those are some of the little community things we do. Another thing that you will learn, if you haven't learned it, how to do it now, take action on things that you put off till later. We always have a list of things to do, and making sure you have number one is number one and number two is number two, instead of the other way around, or number 10 becomes number one for some reason. You have to be able to do the things in order, if possible, to make the best outcome. And that takes a lot of thought and a lot of planning behind that sometimes. Another thing is how to teach better classes. I mean, we're all martial artists. We're all learning. We have to be in that growth mindset where we're learning. So when we learn a better way to do a class, I'm not talking about teach what you teach. I'm talking about present it to the class in a different way, in which will help them be able to learn it, will captivate the audience, so to speak, so that you can get across your material better to them, so they can do a better job on their testing and all of the things they have to do for your ranks and your belts. So teaching how to teach better classes. Here's a big one. This is the one that everybody has to be able to do. And from talking to y'all and listening to all of these wins, everybody's got a handle on it. I don't know how big the handle is, but it's a handle. You're doing it whether you think you're good at it or not, and that's sales. You have to be able to take that person that walks in your door, and you have to be able to show them the value of your program. You have to be able to address the issues that they have, the pain points, the problems, what's wrong, what they think are the problems with their kids. Are they shy? Are they withdrawn kind? Are they spinning all around? The typical one or the other. Do they lack confidence? Things of that nature. You have to be able to show them in a very short period of time how you can make a transformation. So you can take the kid who never says, probably because parents hadn't asked them to, they never says yes sir or no sir, or yes ma'am or no ma'am, or never looks people in the eye, or never learns to stand still, and you can demonstrate how you're going to be able to make that work for them, and you're going to do it in a 15 to 20 minute introductory lesson. That's transformation on a small scale that you can take, and you can exponentially move it out over time. Because if you can get a kid to do something in 30 minutes and keep his attention, parents are saying, wow, I can't do that. How does that girl do? How are they doing that? Are they magicians? I don't see any fairy dust anywhere. I don't see any magic going on. Well, I see magic going on, but I don't see the apparatus they're using to make the magic happen. You have to be able to do that so that the parents are going to see the value in your program. And you go, see, when you talk to them like this, or you do this or that, then it's a better outcome for them. So selling your program is a super aspect of your whole dojo. Now let's flip the coin. How to retain students better. That's a whole nother ball game right there. How do you keep the leaky bucket from leaking so much? Well, I haven't found anybody that can do that, because it's impossible. It's an overextended goal that you will never, ever be able to stop. If you could, you would still have all the students you started with. And I don't have my first black belt. They're gone, So you're going to have that churn or that overturn of students, but there are ways to slow that down. And we're going to work into that, or you will learn that over time. The next one is you won't think about this necessarily as, you may not think about this as something that you do in your martial arts school. Customer service. Go somewhere to where they have amazing customer service, and then figure out how they're doing it. And you go, wow, they're on it. They're right on top of it. They're doing everything they should do. They're asking me questions. They're being cordial. They're being helpful. You want to have that set up in your school to make that your customer, your student, their families a whole lot better off than just open the door, come in, hey, let's do class, get on the mat, okay, class over, bye. That ain't gonna work for long. And if you're doing that now, you got to change that, because that's how you get people. You can get people in the door, but if you want to keep them in the door, you don't have to coddle them. But what you have to do is you have to serve them. You're there to serve them. We're a service-based business. So you're there to serve your students and serve those families. Another big thing that you're going to work on is, some of you may not have a team. And if you're a one-person show, that's fine. You can't be that way forever. So you're going to have to build a team. And then you're going to have to learn how to work together as a team. That's exhibited in sports altogether. When you have these championship teams, it's because they've developed the algorithm, if you will, to be able to work together cohesively to make sure that they're on par for whatever obstacles that they're going to meet. So you have to be able to do that with your team. You have to be able to make that work for them so that y'all can grow together and you can stay together, and you won't keep all of them. So another one is how to have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. Now I'm going to go into this just a little bit so you can hear it one more time, just like you tell your students to, if you don't want to get hit in the face, block. Well, I'm going to tell you the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is the person who says, well, I'm fine. I'm good where I'm at. I know what I know, and I don't need any help. I think I'm pretty much maxed out at my intelligent level, and I don't want to learn anything new. And that's it in a nutshell. The growth mindset person says, well, you know what? That looks challenging, but I'm going to go for it. I've never done that before. I think it's going to be fun, but it's going to be challenging. And they have a mindset of being able to look at things in a different perspective. And The thing you have to understand about the fixed and the growth mindset, you're gonna go from one to the other. You're gonna catch yourself going from one to the other. You're gonna catch yourself going, oh man, I got to do that again. Oh, that's fixed mindset right there. I got to do that again. It should be, I get to do that again. And even though you don't want to do it, you just go ahead and you get it done, but you don't let too many emotions get involved in it. So that growth mindset is all about moving forward, no matter what happens, and having a better attitude about what you do. So next question I have, and if you guys were at the event, we went into this a little bit. So we're going to do it a little bit more here because we're going to be getting into something that intentionality aspect now. Do you have a plan of intentionality for your personal growth? What are you doing other than teaching classes and trying to learn all this stuff from 7FD? What have you been doing, or what are you going to try to do to broaden your scope of learning and the capability of learning? And the reason I say that is because you can learn as much as you allow yourself to learn. If you go, I don't have time to read this book, but so listen to the book. So I have a 30-minute drive to the dojo, and I listen to audiobooks. So 1 hour a day, 30 minutes there and 30 minutes back, I'm listening to some type of audiobook. And some of them I'll just listen to them over and over because I like them so much in order to get the stuff in my head.